Hello and welcome to Enduring Journey to Bliss. My name is Deanne, and I wanted to share the only Paphiopedilum orchid that I have in my current collection. I will show you the name. It's starting to get faded. I've had it quite a while. It's a Paphiopedilum philippinense times SIB. And I have had it since September of 2021. And in January of 2024, I repotted it and I put it into its current growing container. It is about due to have another repot. After a while, any plants that you grow, they will begin to accumulate salts from the fertilizers that you use on them. And even though I do flushes with clear water on my orchids, there is starting to be evidence, like on this Burke right here, of the salt beginning to build up. And so she's been in the same media, the same substrate, the same growing media since January of 2024, and in a couple weeks it's going to be January of 2026. So she's probably overdue to get a repot. She's not bloomed for me yet. When I got her, she was pretty small, and I have babied her in the time frame I've had her. She is growing a new leaf. Her lower leaves, they will start to turn like any other orchid as the plant grows. But if you take a look right there, there is a new leaf right in the center there. Hopefully that's coming through for you all right. So that tells me that it's still doing okay. It's still healthy. It's still growing. And so I will keep hoping. Maybe this next year in 2026, I'll finally get a spike from her. It's hard to say. Like I mentioned, some of the lower leaves are beginning to have this yellowing, and that is very typical of all orchids that I'm aware of. As it's growing, the new leaves, the lower leaves do begin to yellow because the plant is taking the nutrients out of these bottom lower leaves and pulling them back into the crown, the base of the plant, to provide energy for the newer developing growth. And if you're lucky, for some spikes with some blooms. One sign that you can always tell that your orchid is doing well, and this is with Phalaenopsis as well, is that you see the size of this leaf here. It extends pretty far. And then the second leaf is only about half as big. But this third leaf, it's starting to be closer to this size. So probably what happened when I transplanted it, I'm not a botanist, but I'm guessing, I'm not a horticulturalist, is that all the energy was going into root development for the plant. And so these leaves that grew after the replant were not as big as the previous leaves, not as long. But now, I think, since it does have good growth of its roots, these two leaves are bigger, longer than the two immediately below it. And my hope is that this new little growth, new little leaf that's growing in there, goodness, will be bigger, a little bit longer than the two that grew right before it. So I probably will be repotting this. I'll probably do a video on that repot, take you all along for that repot. I don't know if it's going to come up in the camera, but there is one of its roots right there. And here is a root. Doesn't want to, but it's right here. It's kind of a tan color. And here are more of its roots. You see all along here, more of its roots. So, and then here are more of the roots. So I think she has a pretty healthy root system in this substrate. Hopefully you're seeing this. Hopefully it's coming through. But I do think it's time for a repot. And when I potted her the last time in 2024, what I did is I put pebbles at the bottom, and that allows her to hold on to a water reserve or reservoir, however you want to call that. And then this part was bark. All of this was just a bark. Paphiopedilums, they typically grow in the ground, and so the bark might not have been the best choice, but she still is growing, giving me a new leaf. The last 2 leaves that it grew are bigger, stronger than the 2 below it, so that's a good sign. For the repot, I'm not sure how I'll do the repot. I think I will keep it in a glass jar. I do like to be able to see the roots, if at all possible. So I don't know if I'll use just bark or if I'll do some kind of a aeroid type of a mix so that there's some bark and maybe there's some sphagnum moss and maybe there's some normal soil all mixed together so that I have a nice airy substrate for it. But yeah, I'll take you along when I go ahead and repot this. I just kind of wanted to do a quick little highlight on it. Today is watering day and I was getting ready to water it. And I thought, you know, I think I'll show, you can see the shadow of the leaf. I think I'll show that I have this new leaf growing. You can see its shadow inside that right there. And kind of talk about what's going on with it. And I will provide updates on it. I will create a playlist for it like I've done with many of my other plants. I'm going to go ahead and give her drink. This is another thing I do like about the glass is I can see my water level as it comes up. And that's about where I want it for this particular plant. It's just below where the crown would be, essentially. And I will leave that in there for probably like up to 3, maybe 4 days. Not 100%. Kind of depends on if my heater turns on a lot or not. It is winter here in the Northern Hemisphere. Today is December 13th, I believe, of 2025. So anyway, just wanted to kind of share that. And again, you can see here's roots. And down here are roots. Here and here. So yeah, she's doing pretty good. So feel free to come back and take a look when I have updated her repot video. And I hope you all have an amazing afternoon and take care.